Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text number 25. Tat praja bhratrupindartham swartham evanusuyavaha kuruta dhokshaja dhiyas tarhi me anugrah krita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sorry. Translation. Ritu Maharaj continued. Therefore, my dear citizens, for the welfare of your king after his death, you should execute your duties properly in terms of your positions of Varna and Ashrama, and should always think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within your hearts. By doing so, you will protect your own interest, and you will bestow mercy upon your king for his welfare after death. Purport. The words Adhokshaja Dhiyaha, meaning Krishna consciousness, are very important in this verse. The king and citizens should both be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, both of them will be doomed to lower species of life after death. A responsible government must teach Krishna consciousness very vigorously for the benefit of all. Without Krishna consciousness, neither the state nor the citizens of the state can be responsible. Ritu Maharaj therefore specifically requested the citizens to act in Krishna consciousness, and he was also very anxious to teach them how to become Krishna conscious. A summary of Krishna consciousness is given in the Bhagavad Gita 9.27 as follows. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya mat kuru tat kuru madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give in charity, and whatever penances you undergo should be done in Krishna consciousness or for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If all the people of the state, including the government servants, are taught the techniques of spiritual life, then although everyone is liable to be punished in different ways by the stringent laws of material nature, they will not be implicated. End of purport. Omagyanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmrutam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees for this Bhakti Sangha conference group. I'm indeed very grateful that I got an opportunity to associate with all of you and discuss something from Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. There is some disturbance coming in the line. Can someone mute it? A lot of sound coming. We'll begin the class. This is an ongoing series of verses which is glorifying the great kingship of Prithu Maharaj. You can see that how Prithu Maharaj is beautifully addressing his citizens. That how it is not just how king rules over the citizens, but it's also how citizens reciprocate with the king. One of the names of the king is also Naradev. Nara means human being and Dev means among human beings he is like a demigod or he is a representative, we can say, of all the gods. Or in simple terms, he is a representative of Supreme Personality of God for those staying on the earth planet or in that particular tract of land, Naradeva. No wonder the king would not just rule the kingship, do not rule citizens, but even our Vedic literature mentions that the king has to also accrue an amount of karma, sinful activities which a citizen should perform. Srila Prabhupada once mentioned in his conversation, if any of the political leaders, if ever they go through this particular statement of the Vedas, which mentions that the king has to take karma or sinful activities, I guess 1/6 or 1/4 of the all citizens, Prabhupada very jovially mentioned that no one will even compete to become king or the leader in this world because it takes a lot to hold that post. It's not easy. Nonetheless, in the long ago, in the Vedic culture, in the Vedic times, many great devotees, many great personalities were kings. And they were very popular, not just because of the charisma, not just because of the skills, but because of their examples, their acharan. They would be called king not just because they were holding the emperorship, but literally they had power to control. They were controller of their own senses as well. A king is also called as Maharaj, like Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Yudhishthir, right? And even a sannyasi is called as Maharaj. Both king, a ruler, and a Goswami are called Maharaj because they both are involved in controlling. However, the controllership of king becomes solid when he gives his own control of life in the hands of another king, the Maharaj. In the Vedic times, the king would always have advisors, and in his advisory committee, he would keep pure devotees and would take guidance from them regularly. And as a result of that guidance, he would be able to perform the function as a king very nicely. There are hundreds of examples wherein we would see great kings they had in their advisory board as their own gurus or pure devotees who would advise them on how to rule whenever he would be in a dilemma of certain decisions to be taken. And I remember I'm reading a beautiful story from the Ramayana which mentions about Ashtavakra Muni, one of the Shiksha gurus of Janak Maharaj. He was visiting Janak Maharaj in Mithila. So Ashtavakra Muni, by his bodily structure, was deformed in 8 places. Ashta means 8, Ashtavakra. He was deformed in 8 places. But he was a great sadhu, great saint. So when he came, unannounced to the kingdom of Janak Maharaj. He was walking in a peculiar way because of his deformities. And everyone in the kingdom was actually covering their mouth and laughing because they were little kind of very much intrigued and little amazed in the way this Muni was walking. Janak Maharaj, however, knew that behind this walk there is a great talk by the great sage. So he did not smile. In fact, he got down from his own throne and offered his own throne to Ashtavutra Muni to sit down. And then he washed the feet of Ashtavutra Muni. That was an amazing thing. We can also see a parallel here when Shukadeva Goswami was going around in different directions without wearing any clothes. Bhagavatam mentions that kids, children, and some babies were following and making a fun of him when they were when he was walking naked. But as soon as he reached the banks of Ganga, and all the great sages got up in reception to Sukadeva Goswami, indeed knowing that he is a great soul, then everyone understood, the kids and the children, that oh, this person who is walking naked is not an ordinary person, he's a great soul. When Janak Maharaj received Ashtavatramuni, everyone in the kingdom understood that this person is not an ordinary person. He's such a great person that even Janak Maharaj is offering his own throne as a seat to this Ashtavatramuni. So Janak Maharaj made him sit, and Janak Maharaj, understanding that now it's an opportunity to take guidance, did not leave the opportunity unturned. It is mentioned that Janak Maharaj immediately asked a beautiful question to Ashtavatramuni. We also see similarly in many places in Bhagavatam that whenever kings or leaders got an opportunity to associate with great devotees, they never took that lightly. They took full advantage. I was reading Bhagavatam 11th canto the other day, and I was reading the chapter where Nimi Maharaj is welcoming the Nava Yogendras, and it is mentioned in one of the purports. Sorry, that when Nimi Maharaj saw Nava Yogendras suddenly appearing in his palace, immediately he made them sit down, and without delay he asked them questions about his own welfare. So the purport beautifully it is mentioned that generally if some guest comes, right, we give some time and opportunity for them to settle down, and then you may ask your questions. But while Nimi Maharaj was foregoing some etiquettes of Vedic culture and was immediately asking questions. So the answer was given by Acharyas that actually Nimi Maharaj did not know how long they will stay. They just came out of their own accord, Tithi, and they may immediately go. So there is no point in waiting. I need to ask something about my welfare. So did not take opportunity, did not wait, immediately ask question to them about how his welfare could be done. Another angle which was mentioned in that purport is that when you go to a doctor, right? When you go to a doctor, you don't ask doctor. When you're sick, you go to a doctor, you don't ask doctor, doctor, how are you? You go to doctor and say, doctor, how am I? I am sick. How can I be better? So Nimi Maharaj also was in that mood of a patient, right? And when he saw the 9 doctors coming to him, immediately asked, how am I? Ke Ami. So then immediately he asked questions. So here Janak Maharaj also did not take much time to welcome. He did his minimum requirements of welcome, but immediately asked Ashtavatara Muni a beautiful question. He asked Ashtavatara Muni, Maharaj, uh, I am deeply in Maya. Why is Maya so much binding me in this material world? So Ashtavatara Muni heard this, he started smiling. And after smiling, he started laughing. Janak Maharaj was thinking, why was my question such a stupid question that made the great Rishi Ashtavatramuni laugh, smile? But he was waiting for the answer. And Ashtavatramuni suddenly got up from the throne. He came down from the throne and started moving away towards the exit door. And Janak Maharaj was thinking, why is he moving to the exit door? Maybe I should follow and check him. What is the whole thing? So he followed Ashtavatramuni. Ashtavatramuni went out of the palace, went into the king's garden, and there he saw a big tree, a big, huge, gigantic tree. Ashtavatma Muni went and embraced the tree tight and started shouting, leave me.
Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji got cut. Hare Krishna, no voice is there. Matri, he's on the app. He just has to dial here. Krishna, we can wait for Prabhuji to join in. Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, someone. Vardhana Mataji is on the call. Vardhana Mataji? Mataji, I'm outside. Mataji, I cannot connect. Oh, Prabhuji is writing message. Prabhu, we cannot hear you. Hare Krishna Mataji, do you want me to connect Prabhuji? Yes, yes, Mataji. Prabhuji is chatting here. So can you share the number? Yeah, yeah, sure. It's there in the group, Mataji. I'll share you again. I sent you, Mataji. I sent. Yes, Mataji. 1 second. Hare Krishna Mataji, are you connecting him, Mataji? Yes, Mataji. Lavanya Mataji is connecting. Okay, because you know what happened. He can hear us, but we cannot hear him. So let's see with the phone. Okay, okay, Mataji. Are you there on the call?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Some problem with the connection. So I was speaking about the story of Ashtavakra Muni.
Yeah.
And Janak Maharaj.
Yeah, so, Prabhuji, you said about like he came out and after that we got cut, Prabhuji.
Okay, he came out of page. Okay, no, I correct it. Hare Krishna, so Ashtavakra Muni came out of the exit door and the king followed Ashtavakra Muni. Ashtavakra Muni entered the king's garden and there was a big tree. And Ashtavakra Muni just went and embraced the tree and started shouting loudly, please leave me, please leave me, please leave me. So Janak Maharaj was like, smiling and he came and asked Ashtavakra Muni, Maharaj, you are saying leave me, but you are the one who is catching the tree. Ashtamukhi Muni now smiled at Janak Maharaj and said, this is what we do with Maya. We are the one who got entangled in Maya and we are asking Maya, please leave me, please leave me. It is us. It is our free choice. We entered into Maya's domain and now we are asking why Maya is troubling me. We entered into Maya's domain. That's our thing. So the great kings like Janak Maharaj were always guided by such wise and very, very spiritually minded leaders. And therefore, in their kingdom, they were always not just Krishna conscious themselves, but even imparted Krishna consciousness to their citizens as well. And as a result, because of such guidance, they were always great Vaishnavas. In fact, if you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells to Arjuna that for setting an example, even a great person will do something which is very ordinarily done by ordinary man as a matter of duty, even though it's not required for him. And then he quotes the example of King Janak. Just like Janak, and Krishna says, just like me as well. We don't require to follow rules and regulations of this world because we are beyond the three modes. Yet, for setting a good example, we still as well follow the rules and codes and conducts of human being and other formalities as well. So there's another story of Janak Maharaj, where Janak Maharaj once called one great devotee who was very, very known for his Bhagavat Kathas. So there was a Bhagavat Katha arranged in a big pandal next to Janak Maharaj's palace. And Janak Maharaj invited everyone to come and hear the Bhagavat Katha. The Bhagavat Katha was very, very long, almost like a month long Katha. Now what happened is, because Janak Maharaj was so busy in his kingly duties, when the Bhagavad Katha would start at a particular time, many times he would not able to come on time, right in time. He would come 5 minutes late or 7 minutes late, because of so many responsibilities he had. As a result, the Bhagavad Katha would have to, Kathakar waited because he was actually very much inspired by Janak Maharaj, who would himself come and hear Katha. So he sat down, and then when the Janak Maharaj would come 5 minutes late, then he would begin his Katha. So some people who were also attending the Katha, they were thinking that why Janak Maharaj should come late, this honoring Srimad Bhagavatam. So such doubts were prevailing in the minds of those attending, because they were thinking that Janak Maharaj should not make Bhagavat wait for him. So Janak Maharaj was actually inside very much feeling sad that he has to make the speaker, he had told speaker to start, but the speaker won't start till he comes. So the speaker understood this dichotomy in the minds of people who were attending, because they were trying to see Janak Maharaj from their vision, that he is not coming right in time, so maybe he is not serious, sincere like that. So the Bhagavad Kathakar made a beautiful arrangement to prove that how much Janak Maharaj may come late 5 minutes, but when he is in Katha, he is fully absorbed. He is not worried of anything in the world. He is just into Katha. Whereas someone may come on time, before time, but still his mind may still think about lingering over the material attachments, the material worlds, the responsibilities, and so many things. He may physically in the Bhagavad Katha, but he may not mentally or spiritually be there. So with this intention, the Bhagavad Gita, one day while the Katha was going on and Janak Maharaj and everyone was hearing the Bhagavad Katha, we had pre-arranged that someone should come running to the tent, Pandal, shouting loudly that the palace of the king and as well many other houses in the kingdom are caught fire. So everyone please run, save your house, save your things in the house. Please come. So such kind of alarm was like a dramatically being raised. So Katha was going on somewhere, everyone came running from outside saying, hey, the whole kingdom is in fire, palace is on fire, Janak Maharaj, you have to go and check your palace. Now, what you are doing, in the Katha here, go, your house is on fire, like that. As soon as that announcement was made, everyone just ran out, vacated the whole pandal and just ran out. Janak Maharaj was thinking, what is this announcement all about? So, Kathakar, why you are stopping Katha? Continue. And the Kathakar continued, and Janak Maharaj sat down in rapt attention. Everyone ran out to check what fire was there. They came again back and said, there is no fire here. Unnecessary rumors were there. And so they came and sat down in the Katha, only to know that Janak Maharaj was the only one who sat in the Katha Could not run away. So then the Bhagavad mentioned, this is called absorption. He was so much into Katha, he did not mind. He was completely depending on Krishna. He had taken shelter of Krishna in the Katha. This is the mood of hearing Bhagavad. So these were the kings of Vedic culture who were absorbed in hearing Krishna consciousness, and when time came, they were also absorbed in serving Krishna by taking care of people and citizens in the country. Such was the rule of great Vedic kings, not just Janak Maharaj. There are hundreds and hundreds of great Vaishnava kings like Yudhishthir Maharaj. Bhagavatam mentions when Yudhishthir Maharaj was ruling, there was a replica of Rama Rajya, exactly like how Lord Ramachandra ruled. When Parikshit Maharaj was ruling, amazing. Kali, even though Kali's time had come, still Kali could not infiltrate this world because Parikshit Maharaj's rule was going on. And when Parikshit Maharaj was begged, when Kali begged Parikshit Maharaj, give me some places, Parikshit Maharaj gave 4 places. Place where there is meat eating going on, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. And amazingly, in Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom, whole earth planet, there was not a single place where Kali could take shelter. He said, these 4 places do not exist in your kingdom. That is how great the rule of Parikshit Maharaj was. That he was a Vaishnava and everyone under his kingship were all great devotees, followers of Vedic culture. They never broke any principles, right? And therefore the Kali Yuga did not find shelter in those 4 places. And therefore he had to beg, give me one more place. These 4 places are not enough. I can't find any of these places in your kingdom. And then one more place was allotted to him. So this is the rule of great Parikshit Maharaj. In similar way, we find in South India there were so many wonderful kings. King Kulashekar Maharaj, who actually was a great saint himself, great Saint Alwar. So he was so absorbed in Ram Katha. Every day without fail in the morning, he would, without hearing Ram Katha, Ramayana, he would not go and enter into Darbar, his palace, and do the courtship. It is mentioned that he would first hear Katha, absorb himself. He had actually kept one devotee who would come every day and regularly recite Katha for him. And sometimes he would go so much immersed and absorbed in the Katha, he would forget the time. It is mentioned in one of the stories in Kulashekar Alwar's pastimes that he became so absorbed hearing Katha. One time, this devotee was reciting Ram Katha. He was narrating of how Ravana kidnapped uh, Sita Devi. So that was a prasanga. So when that prasanga was mentioned, it is mentioned that Kulashekar Alwar was so absorbed in Katha, he immediately got up from the Katha. In that absorption, he was thinking Ram and Lakshmana have gone out for catching the deer. Sita is alone and Ravana is kidnapping. How can he ever touch Mother Sita? So I will go and catch him and kill him. So Kulashekar Alwar, in his meditation, in his absorption, got up, ran out. He ordered his commander in chief, ready the army. Now I have to go and reach Dandakaranya forest in Janasthan. And Ravan is trying to kidnap Sita. I'll catch him. And the commander could not say anything. He readied the whole army. And Kulashekar Alwar, Raja Maharaja, he just sat on on his chariot and he just ran full speed behind which the whole army was following. The army was not knowing where they are going, but Alwar, the Kulashekar was saying, we should go. And then the ministers, they decided we should do something because our king is very absorbed in Ram Katha. So they arranged few soldiers to come from the opposite direction. And they came opposite direction and they stopped King Kulashekar and said, we have some good news for you, Maharaj, that Lord Ram has killed Ravana and Sita is back with Ram. And Kulashekar Maharaj was very happy and in turn around came back to his kingdom. Such was the absorption in hearing Katha which happened millions of years ago. Later, the minister decided that our king is very much in attention, rapt attention and absorption. We should make sure that the devotee who is reciting Ramayana should not recite anything which is very much awkward in hearing in terms of a danger to Ram or Sita, because what happens that it excites our king. So he told the devotee who was reciting Ramayana that please only narrate good narrations, happy narrations of Ramayana. Because if you narrate something sad, then the king Kulashekar gets excited and he starts uh, executing um, some things by which he runs away from his kingdom to help Lord Ramchandra. So the devotee he understood and henceforth then he started reciting all things which were all pleasant, good and happy things in Ramayana. However, in few times later in the future, this devotee could not come for some reason to recite Ram Katha. So he sent another disciple of his to recite Ram Katha. So when this disciple came, he was not told by his guru, the devotee, that he should not recite something which is not pleasant from Ramayana. So he did not know. So immediately he was like, he went and started narrating, and exactly he was narrating that pastime where it is mentioned Ram and Ravan, they were fighting intensely, and Ram was not having a chariot. Ram was actually having only monkey soldiers with him. So when he was mentioning about Ram and Ravan fight, Kulashekar Maharaj got excited and he said, I have to go and help Lord Ramchandra. What is the reason of my being king here, sitting here? He got up, ordered his commander in chief, let's go, we have to go to Lanka. Now that was a big challenge because now as he was moving towards Lanka, all the army they understood that how can you go to Lanka because between the the land of India and Sri Lanka there is so much of water, the ocean is between us. So they stopped when the ocean came. But Kulashekar Maharaj was just so conscious, so absorbed, he kept on going inside. The chariot driver also stopped. And Kulashekar Maharaj said, go inside the ocean. No, don't worry, Lord Ram will protect us. But the chariot driver also was not going inside. So Kulashekar got from the chariot down. He took his weapons and entered in the ocean alone. And he was going inside the ocean to cross the ocean. And everyone was thinking, what will happen to the king now? Who's going to stop him? And then suddenly the king stopped. And it looked like the king was talking with someone. And after some time, the king turned around and came back. Actually, what happened is Lord Ramchandra himself appeared in the ocean along with Sita and Lakshman and told Kulashekar Maharaj, don't worry, my dear devotee, the fight is over, I have killed Ravan, Sita is back with me and Lakshman also has come. So this is the absorption of great Vaishnava kings of those times. We have in our recent history in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, Prataprudra Maharaj, another great king. Such a big king, yet he was such an humble devotee. He agreed to take the role of a street sweeper to sweep the streets for Rath Yatra, for Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra. And later he changed his kingly attire into a simple devotee's attire and went into the Jagannath Vallabh garden and massaged the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All he did was on the direction of Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu. Before that, he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want to meet him, so he never attempted to bargain to enter into the kingdom. So like this. So Kulashekar Maharaj is one example, Prataprudra Maharaj is another example, Lord Ramachandra is another example of great Vedic kings. So these great Vedic kings will be guided, as I mentioned, by great Vaishnava saints. We also know about a great king in the land of India here, Shivaji Maharaj. He was a great saint, great saintly king, Raj Rishi, because he was taking guidance from great saintly Vaishnavas like Tukaram Maharaj and Saint Ramdas. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, Lord Sri Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Agrayam. And then he again says in the next verse, 4.2, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarashayo Viduhu. So Srila Prabhupada tells in the purport that previously there were two paramparas by which transcendental knowledge would come down, descend down. One parampara is the Guru Shishya parampara. We all are aware in ISKCON that we have our gurus when we are disciples, and some qualified disciples take the reign of Guruship, and then the Guru Shishya parampara continues. However, previously, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, at the time when there were great kings, Raj Rishi. Rishi means a great sage. But some kings were so great that they were not just told as, they were not spoken as Raja, but they were spoken as Raja Rishi, that they were Rishi amongst the kings. So those rishi among the king, Raj Rishi, also had their parampara. And in the Bhagavad Gita 4.2, Krishna mentions about this Raj Rishi parampara, starting from sun god Vivaswan, which came down. Krishna spoke to sun god Vivaswan, Vivaswan spoke to Ikshvaku, Ikshvaku spoke to Manu, and in turn it came down like this. And now Krishna tells Arjuna, because in the course of time, this Rajrishi Parampara appears lost. So now I am speaking again to Arjuna. Arjuna again as a Rajrishi. So there are two kinds of parampara. One is Rajrishi Parampara and another is Guru Shishya Parampara. But in today's age of democracy, when monarchy has no place, we don't find so much of Rajrishis now. But we have now the prevalent method of Guru Shishya Parampara. There is saying in Sanskrit or in Hindi, Jaisa Raja, Vaisa Praja. As the king is, so shall be the subjects. Right? So, therefore, it was very important in the Vedic culture to train the king properly. The king would be trained as right from the time he was born, he enters after some time into Gurukul, gets trained in the Gurukul, where he lives like an ordinary student along with any other students, but he gets trained in Vedic life. And then after staying in Guru's ashram for a plenty number of time, gets equipped with all kinds of weaponry, not just Shastra, but also by Shastra, not just weapon knowledge, art of fighting, but also art of conquering our enemies of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. And in this way, the king was, and the person was trained. And then he would come back to the kingdom. Then there was an official ceremony of Raj Abhishek, where he would be coronated as the new upcoming king, prince king, and then he would be the king the next one. In this way, the training was given because everyone knew that if the king is good, then automatically in due course of time, citizens will also be trained. Because ultimately the citizens who are normal people, they always want to look upon some role model. Just like in today's world, everyone looks at the role model. And who are our role models? In our society, the role models today are the sports persons or the film industry people. And therefore what happens? Whatever they do, the common men follow. But in previous ages, the king was a role model. The great leaders were the role model. And therefore people would follow them and they would also become righteous and they will become good. So herein we can see in this particular purport, Parikshit Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj is actually pleading to the citizens to follow the rules and conducts of Shastra very well, so that in due course of time, everyone in the kingdom will be Krishna conscious. And therefore, it's Adhokshaja Dhiya, Krishna consciousness. The most important agenda of every king in the Vedic culture, in the Vedic times, will be that citizens should be Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions on today's purport? Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the beautiful class, Prabhuji. Very nice examples, Prabhuji, very nice stories. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Is there anybody having any questions, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, is there anybody having any questions? Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhu. Can I ask you?
Yes, sure, yes.
Prabhuji, you are telling like when the king is trained well, so citizens are also trained well. But how about like when parents are, very, know about Shastra and then so they can also train their kids because for us to see king and citizens means like this in the modern days it's not like olden days it's not so for us is this is the way to practice Prabhu. How do you think about it, Prabhu, please. Can you explain me about that?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for the nice question. See, there are two ways of becoming Krishna conscious, right? One is by birth. There is this quotation given. The Bhagavad Gita mentions that those who are not completed Krishna consciousness take birth again in the in the family of great Vaishnavas, great devotees. So you find that some people are born in a particular race where they get natural training from their parents because they're also great devotees and they get trained very easily. They get access to gurus. Like for example, Parikshit Maharaj was born in the family of great Vaishnavas, and also because of that, he got very easy access to his martial arts guru and then his wisdom guru Kripacharya, like that. So they were naturally getting that access because of that lineage. So that is one way of one way of becoming Krishna conscious. The other way of other way is normal way where of course today's normal is abnormal. The abnormal way is that how when no one is Krishna conscious, that training that kind of facility is not there to be born in the Vaishnava family. The other is to get trained in Krishna consciousness under an expert guru. That is one thing. So most of us in this today's age, when or of the leaders also in today's age, they may not have access to the first kind of facility of being born in a lineage of Kshatriyas who are all properly trained, and then he becomes a leader. But nonetheless, there's always a chance to get trained wherever and whichever time they get in joining. So we also came in Krishna consciousness, maybe not in the beginning of our life, but later at some stage. But now we have access to the training, and that training as seriously as we can take, we can actually also come to the stage of being Krishna conscious leader and then give help or rather guide people who come by Krishna's grace under us, and we can guide them properly in Krishna consciousness. So one is by natural lineage, another is by training. By Krishna's arrangement, by Krishna's mercy, we got such a wonderful opportunity to come in touch in Srila Prabhupada's movement. Srila Prabhupada has given us so much. Everything we need to know, everything Srila Prabhupada gave us through his books, through his lectures, conversations, to his disciples. So now we have to, the other way of becoming a good leader is to become trained under Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON society, and then slowly and gradually the leadership qualities will grow, and then we can become a better leader. And even we find in Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada will also encourage leaders, like for example, many devotees will bring in leaders to meet Srila Prabhupada and to discuss with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada does not meet everyone. He met many common people also, but he also met many people who were shreshthas, who were leaders. He met scientists, he met philosophers, he met government officers, he met politicians. And the whole idea was that touch their hearts, and through that, because if one leader becomes Krishna conscious, just one leader, even if it doesn't become 100% Krishna conscious, little Krishna conscious, by his example, people under him, thousands and thousands of them, will become Krishna conscious to some extent. Like for example, Srila Prabhupada invested so much of time on George Harrison, right? Now he was a Shrestha, he was a leader. People followed him, they were mad after him. So when George Harrison became devotee, what happened? That was reflected through his music. And everywhere, all around Europe, US, people were following him madly. Then they got connected to Krishna consciousness directly or indirectly. And then Prabhupada asked him to write a foreword to the Krishna book. And he also gave money to print Krishna book. And those Krishna books went out so much. And I was hearing a lecture, one devotee was mentioning one Prabhupada disciple was mentioning in a class in London. And there was a time when they were having some anniversary of London preaching, the time, some particular anniversary after which. So then one devotee Prabhupada disciple mentioned, asked the audience, that how many of you, there were many Prabhupada disciples who were in London that time, how many of you actually came to Krishna consciousness in London? And most of them raised their hands and said, how many of you came through hearing George Harrison's music or reading the Krishna book? And maximum devotees in London were Prabhupada disciples that time. They mentioned that actually we all came through because we were all very much following George Harrison, and we got an opportunity to hear his music where he sang some Krishna conscious themes. And we read, then someone gave a book, they told that this is George Harrison's foreword. He has told all of you to read book. and we just read the book and we came to Krishna consciousness. So this is how when even if a leader, a great leader, gets some connection with Krishna consciousness, that affects generations to come who follow Krishna consciousness. So that is what I can offer to you, Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for detailed explanation. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, for such a nice explanation. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to ask any question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. So thank you so
Dandot
much for
Pranam.
the very, very beautiful class and very nice stories, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, following Vinay Mataji's questions, like for the parents and we try to give Krishna consciousness to our children, but for them it's like a daily routine. Don't tell us. Uh, I know they know everything. They know everything, like even the stories and things they remember more than us. Even the shlokas they remember more than us. But still, they are not serious, and they say, "Okay." Means like they don't take it seriously, and they just you know try to be like uh, don't want to stress themselves, and uh, they don't want to use their Krishna consciousness in any way. They just want to do themselves whatever they want. So what means how to take it, Prabhuji?
uh, well, this is a big project. I don't know how I can answer you some short words. This is actually concern for every parent in today, wherever, whichever part of the world they stay in. That parents are very much Krishna conscious, but the children are not so much interested as the parents are. And sometimes, if a child becomes very interested and becomes initiated, also that's a big kind of admiration all over the Vaishnava world that this devotee became this devotee child took initiation and became Krishna conscious. One thing I have seen one observation of mine when I am traveling and meeting devotees. Even though when children they become devotees, let's say they get initiated and they start following. But one thing I have seen that they don't like the parents' version of Krishna consciousness. I don't know why, but this is maybe familiarity breeds contempt or like that. But I'm not saying the parents are wrong or children are wrong. But one thing I can say that this is very common because we stay together. The parents stay with children. Then there is always a chance of kind of little push or pressure, kind of which for everything, by which there will be distaste in the hearts of children. So I would recommend. I'm not an authority in this particular area, but I'm just recommending I saw a few examples that if some other devotee is involved in their life apart from parents, who boost their Krishna consciousness, who actually who gives them kind of inspires them in Krishna consciousness, and this person cannot be any force person. We cannot appoint a person like that. In fact, that person should be naturally someone who the child adores him. Child likes to talk to that person. Child likes the either they maybe kirtani or maybe lecturer or maybe even a simple devotee who just comes in temple and just treats the children very nicely. So such people may be the one whom we can actually ask them to uh, help making our children Krishna conscious. And it's not easy to get such people, I can say you one thing. But what I'm saying is this is the easy way of going through some other devotee who is not a family member. And when he speaks, it becomes more easy for a child to follow. Like one thing I remember, one Mataji and one Prabhuji, both very nice Krishna conscious husband wife, and they have their kid, and this kid was very attached to one particular devotee in the congregation because the devotee was singing very nicely. A very simple devotee would not be very much into big position or simple just devotee. So they always would confide in this devotee for any help. And this devotee would not just go to the child and just speak what parents want. This devotee would actually would very lovingly speak to the child as if without an agenda. You know, if we go by agenda with an agenda to the child will always keep distance from such people. There should not be agenda. Agenda should be more love and care and very less uh, task given to the child. So what would happen is this Mataji told me that whenever the child would do a mistake, this Mataji would just tell the child that if you do a mistake, I will tell that Prabhuji that you did this mistake. So what would happen? This child, this young boy or young girl maybe, he would think, oh, if that Prabhuji comes to know about me, I made a mistake, that will not be good. So he would actually not do it. The parent would say that if you do this mistake, I will be angry on you. And still the child will do it because he doesn't care for the parents. So because he has a lot of kind of respect for the other devotee, whoever the devotee XYZ, we can look for that. Then the devotee can be a good factor for the devotee, the child to always be guarded against things which is doing wrong. So we may have to, directly preach. Like for example, even in our preaching, we are told that we should not preach to our own family members because they will never hear from us. But we should take them to some devotees, and they will hear from devotees, and they will follow it. Similarly, with our children, we may not be very much into Krishna conscious, directly giving them instruction on Krishna. Just we can be a better parents, and whatever way, just like our parents have raised us, we can also offer the facilities what we are offering to them. And the task of giving them good Krishna conscious instructions and advices can be delegated if we can possibly find some devotee like that whom the children very much admire or adore. This is my purely my kind of suggestion. I'm not claiming that I'm very expert in this, but this is what I saw with few devotees, and therefore I'm sharing what I saw when I am traveling preaching Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It's very helpful. We'll try.
Thank you, all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the beautiful class. Is there anybody having any questions for Prabhuji? Okay. If there are no more questions for Prabhuji, we would like to end the call here, offering obeisances to the Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Baldev Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
This session is no longer being recorded. Goodbye.